Motor City of Detroit with football on its mind. Why not? It is one of the big imprints around the Mid-American Conference. As you take a look at the Motown skyline on this day in late July. Great to have all of you on our ESPN 3 MAC football preview day. Michael Reggie, Doug Graber, and we're delighted to be joined by the third-year head football coach of the Ball State Cardinals, Pete Lembo, and to his right, one of the finest quarterbacks we have in the nation in Keith Wenning. Pete, your first 2 years, again, ultra successful. So obviously the question is, in year 3, now most of these kids are starting to become your guys, your recruits. How much of a difference has that made in terms of the foundation, continuity you've laid in the program as you enter year 3?
Well, I got to start by saying I felt like they've been my guys since day one. I mean, it's really been special. And when I think about the first 2 years at Ball State, the players have really made it special for our coaching staff. We came in with a group of coaches that had worked together before. We've kept very good continuity on that staff heading into year 3. And I think the players are starting to reap some of the rewards of that because they know what to expect from us. They know what a practice is going to be like. They know the emphasis that we put on living a lifestyle 365 days a year, and how grinding the off season is going to be under Coach Feely with our strength and conditioning program. So as we head into year 3, that familiarity and that cohesiveness with the coaches and the players, we're just anxious to get back out on the field together. You know, we're not thinking about, well, we did this last year and we want to do this year. We just enjoy our time together. And it's amazing. This guy's going to be a senior. Yeah. And he's one of the best guys I've ever had the privilege to coach, not because of his talent, but because of the person that he is. And I could tell 100 other stories about our guys. And so we're just anxious to get back out there and compete during preseason, get ourselves ready for Illinois State, and take it day by day, and we'll see where we end up.
Okay, Keith. Here you go. I got to ask this question now. Last year, Michael and I have enjoyed watching you so much, but last year you won 4 games in really the closing seconds or overtime. You were the linchpin of that. Talk about your mindset as you get into those clutch situations at the end of games.
You know, I go in to that time in the game with the mindset that, you know, if there's time on the clock, we have a chance to win. You know, with Coach Lembo and Coach Skrosky, they've put us in great opportunities to win games. You know, when there's time on the clock, you know, we're confident as an offense that we're going to drive down the field and have a chance to win a game, whether it's score a touchdown or kick a field goal.
Taking a look at Keith Wenning, just a fantastic year. High touchdown ratio, very low interception ratio. Takes care of the football wonderfully well. Head coach Pete Lembo, you just said it. Now he's going into his senior year. You've had him for 2 years as we take a look at Keith's exploits. He'll be making his 35th career start on opening night. How much of a comfort level does that give a head coach when you have a guy at the throttle like this? Do you tend to give him greater latitude and flexibility in terms of expressing himself creatively in your offense because of all the experience?
You do. And where Keith has really grown is that we're getting a lot of good feedback from him. Year 1 and to a degree in year 2, it was, I want to please you guys as coaches. I want to make sure I'm as prepared as I can be. And he's still very much that way. But now he's at a point where he's able, in the film room, on the field, and certainly on game day, to give us some honest feedback about what he's thinking and what he likes more than what he doesn't like.
Pete, last year led the MAC in third down percentage, hit 47% of your third down. I mean, that's a huge number. Why?
I think we've gotten it to a lot of manageable down and distances, Coach. Okay. Not many of us have great calls on 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and Coach Skrosky will be the first one to admit that. Yeah. But when you can get it down to 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, now we can run it, we can throw it, we can get into a whole lot of different personnel groupings. The ability to run the ball out of spread sets and to throw it out of some more compact sets, that's given our offense a lot of depth, and it's been exciting to watch.
And certainly, we take a look at the numbers here. I mean, and again, now, and the MAC, as we know, now you've got to get the bulbs on the scoreboard a lot of times, make sure they're operated properly, because offenses in this conference can light it up. Ball State being one of them, better than 33 points a game, total offense close to 500 yards a game, and Juwan Edwards, outstanding tailback. You had a durable tackle-to-tackle runner with that runs, behind his pads. Give us an idea of what you've asked of Juwan going into this year, Pete, in terms of making that next step for him as well. He's played for you for 2 years, played as a true freshman. Now he's a junior.
Sure did, and what a great story. Here's a guy that Ball State was his only FBS offer, and we knew about him simply because we were coming from Elon in North Carolina, and he was playing in one of the best programs in the state at Butler High School outside of Charlotte. He has appreciated the opportunity. He's made the most of every day since he's been at Ball State. Got a 3.0 in the spring semester. Just couldn't be more proud of what he's done growing up as a young man. And he's going to give you his best every day in practice. I mean, he practices with such focus and such intensity that you just know he's going to be ready when Saturday rolls around. He's reshaped his body. Keith has done the same thing. Keith was, I don't want to tell you how much he weighed when we first got there, but I could tell you he weighs 222 or 223.
Lean. Strong and lean.
And Juwan has done the same thing. Juwan weighs about 8 or 9 pounds less than he did when he got there, but he's got the big shoulders now and the smaller waist, and he's strong and he's confident. And we've got a great backup in Horatio Banks, a guy that gives us a nice change-up when he goes in there. He would start for a lot of teams. Those guys are best of friends. Coach Lustig's done a great job of keeping them humble and keeping them well-rounded. They pass protect well. They know their role. They catch the ball out of the backfield. So I really feel good about the 1-2 punch in the backfield right now.
Keith broke an ankle late in the year last year. I was at the St. Pete Bowl. I mean, you were hobbling. I think you have to admit that. What's your recovery like?
I've done a lot of treatment to get it to, be able to play in the bowl game. But, throughout the whole winter, throughout the whole spring, summer, it's gotten better and better each day, each week. So right now it's good to go. And I haven't missed one workout, one practice in spring ball or anything in the summer. So it's back to normal.
Coach, you didn't ask about my ankle. I got an old injury from Georgetown back in 1991. It bothers me every day.
Hey, your ankle doesn't matter, believe me.
Well, Keith Wenning, Juwan Edwards, Nathan Ollie, one of my favorite defensive players in the Mid-America Conference, by the way. Nathan Ollie, of course, spearheads that defense. We'll see if strides are made there. Let's take a look quickly, though, at what Pete Lembo and Keith Wenning and the Ball State Cardinals have in the docket. You said you got first two at home at Schumann with Illinois State and Army before you head down to North Texas. Lastly, does the schedule line up the way you like it as you did in then the MAC play a little bit later on in September?
Well, you guys know that I spent 10 years at the FCS level.
Yes.
And played against some of the best competition there. Illinois State's an outstanding football team. They beat Eastern Michigan last year.
Yeah.
They beat App State in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I know all too well how good App State is. So we know we've got a great opponent coming in on week 1. And then in week 2 with the triple option in Army, and we know how hard that is to prepare for. Fortunately, we played Army the last 2 years.
We did.
So we have a pretty good idea of what to expect. But it's all about taking it one day at a time.
There's the mantra. Yeah. Where have you heard that before? But that's been a tremendous first 2 years in Muncie, Indiana. Pete Lembo, Keith Wenning, great to see both you gentlemen. Much success with your Ball State Cardinal program this year.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the fall.
Thanks.